Learn the secret shared history of Ghostmaker and Bruce Wayne. All this and more in the pages of Batman issue number 104. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, the mysterious Ghost Hunter had knocked out Batman, Harley Quinn, and Clownhunter and has taken them to Arkham Asylum for safekeeping. As Ghostmaker says, this mental hospital is exactly where Batman belongs, and soon enough he will be forced to see the world the same way he does, basically in black and white, which explains the costume, doesn't it? Now, something you'll probably notice right away about this issue is that the art keeps changing and it ends up being pretty damn distracting. You see, we check on over with Oracle, who's desperately trying to track down Batman wherever he went. For this, she recruits the help of Dick Grayson Nightwing, who is still desperately trying to get his own city of Bloodhaven back under control after only just recently regaining his identity. When the subject of Ghostmaker is ultimately breached, it turns out that Dick actually knows a little bit from his time as Robin. While he never actually met Ghostmaker face to face, he did actually see him once one fateful night, and he'll never forget it. You see, as Dick tells it, back in the day, he and Batman were on the trail of some real go-nowhere D-list Adam West-style supervillain. This nobody had given them the slip to Singapore, and as such, the dynamic duo decided to give chase. Unfortunately, as they thought they were nearing in on their prey, all they ended up doing was coming face to face with Ghostmaker. Bruce and the Ghostmaker argued like an old married couple, and eventually Batman did something we don't see him do all the time, and that is actually relent and leave. As we discover through the eyes of Robin, it would seem that Batman and the Ghostmaker have some sort of pre-made arrangement between the two of them, a sort of mutually assured destruction sort of thing. When Dick pushes the issue a little further, we discover that Bruce and whoever Ghostmaker is under the mask were actually friends once upon a time. In fact, Bruce says Ghostmaker was the first friend he made after his parents' death. They were both excellent martial arts students, driven, with an interest in technology in the future. The only problem is that when Bruce actually felt comfortable enough to open up to this kid and explain that it was the death of his parents that spurred him on this journey, the kid who would end up becoming Ghostmaker totally snapped for some reason and lashed out at Bruce, trying to kill him for the first of what would be many, many times. It would just seem that the Ghostmaker could not understand someone trying to master themselves and take on the world just because of petty revenge. For him, it's all fun and games. It's all for the art. And perhaps the thing that stung the most for Bruce is not that this guy tried to kill him, not that he called him weak, but that he actually legitimately lost a friend. Wow, Tynan really has a way of making a human Batman. Dick says that Batman had attempted to reach out to Ghostmaker in the years after that, even attempting to try and get him to come on board for the Batman Incorporated initiative, but well, that went nowhere. And if it seems like Dick is really an expert on Ghostmaker, it's because, well, he kind of made himself one. As far as Robin was concerned, Ghostmaker was essentially Batman's first sidekick, and he wanted to push himself to be able to overcome the memory of this guy. Speaking of heroes and sidekicks, we can see that Barbara Gordon just isn't acting as superhero information broker Oracle. She's actually pulling double duty as Batgirl Prime for a whole new team of Batgirls. Barb had dispatched Stephanie and Cassie to try and pick up Batman's trail, and well, they didn't have to look too hard to find evidence, as the literal plants on the wall told them to go check out Arkham. And hey, speaking of Arkham, it's around this time too Clownhunter and Harley Quinn end up coming to. Bao still desperately wants to kill Harley Quinn, and we discover the reason that he's so gung-ho about this, even though it seems that Harley has turned over a new leaf, is because, well, and this should have been obvious from the beginning, Harley was there the night his parents were killed. It's also here too, Ghostmaker's grim design suddenly comes into focus. You see, Clownhunter is the only one who's not actually tied down to his medical bed, meaning that if he still wants to kill Harley Quinn, and oh boy does he ever still want to kill Harley Quinn, it'll prove Ghostmaker 100% right, that Batman is too weak, too soft, and in trying to save a kid like this, another person ended up dying on Batman's watch who didn't have to, and believe it or not, it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody. And so that was Batman number 104, everybody, and overall I thought this comic was fine, just fine. There was a lot of very clear art hiccups that took me out of the story, and honestly, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to art, so if I noticed a problem, there must really have been a problem. What's been working about this arc continues to work here. Ghostmaker is an interesting little counterpoint to Batman, mainly because he doesn't believe in anything. Tynion, much like he did in his Detective Comics run, is also not afraid to show Batman as a compromised individual, but one who ultimately does try and do the right thing at the right moment and does reveal small bits of his humanity when you wouldn't expect it. I also enjoy that Barbara, the other Batgirls, and Nightwing just seem to be recurring characters in this Tynion Batman run, and I hope that continues. You know, it's nice to have a Bat family that feels like a real family that can pop in and out of each other's stories at will. Overall, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7 out of 10, but know that the art really did bring it down a couple notches.
Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.